You're trying to cater to all these independent business owners who all have very unique beliefs on like what I want to stand behind and what I don't.
Right.
And like if any one of those gyms, Monster were to come to them and be like, I love what you're doing. Let me just put a Monster logo up on your wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for all your beverages you're going to sell them for $3, but we're going to give them to you for free.
Yep.
And we're going to pay you $10,000 a month to put our logo on your wall.
Yeah.
And there's not a single gym owner that would be like, hey, you know what? Like maybe somebody who's like doesn't need to make $1 off their gym.
Right.
But 99% of
They'd
gyms
thank you.
are like, what wall do you want?
me.
How much space? They're like, you just paid my entire like overhead for the entire thing.
You just bought me 4 months to live.
This episode 8 of the Strip Barbell podcast. Another special guest today. Just happened to fly into town this morning. I got a text at 10 a.m. or no, it was 6 a.m. that he was flying in at 11.
About that. Yeah.
I
didn't think
I was
of
like,
that.
hey, I know I'll come pick you up from the airport, but let's record a podcast. And he agreed to both. So
I think that though, like when we're going to talk about CrossFit, that's kind of the CrossFit culture.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, you want to pick
hospitality?
Yeah, you want to pick me up from the airport? Go for it.
Yeah, be like, or the even one step further would be like, yeah, I'll send my car for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Next, I need a couple more gyms, or a gym or two. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're not in town for CrossFit. You're in town for your other opportunities and things that you work at within Bitcoin. Yes,
Ish.
no,
Yep.
trading,
Call
online
that.
trading and stuff like that. But we've obviously come to know each other from some of the different CrossFit affiliate gatherings, some of the different CrossFit like games events and stuff like that. And I had originally met you. It's been over 12 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
When were you doing Thunder Bro?
Yeah, I think Thunder Bro. When did we start that? I want to say 2015, 16, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah, just another way of like
Crazy.
adding additional like functional strength bodybuilding to
what's funny
CrossFit?
about as I see the RP thing, like one of the most interesting things about our community in the CrossFit community is when Thunder Bro blew up, right?
Yeah.
We bridged a gap between aesthetics and performance that obviously was a need. Like people like were obsessed with it. They loved the branding. They loved everything behind it. And so when we were at the Arnold Classic, I remember, I grew up watching bodybuilding, and if you look at my pants right now, you can see like it's still part of my ethos. But I remember like meeting these bodybuilders who I was like, whoa, this is, we work with Stan Efferding a lot. There were some big names. And I remember one bodybuilding dude, I can't even remember. I know he's probably famous, don't know his name. Tons of tats, just jacked out of his mind, talking to him, the Arnold. He's like, are you guys like the CrossFit kind of bodybuilding guys? I was like, yeah. And he's like, man, I think CrossFit's so cool, but every time I get near one of them, they're like, bodybuilding's fucking stupid. And when I heard that, like, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm seriously sorry. I actually apologize on behalf of our whole community, because I'm like, that doesn't lend well. That doesn't do good for anyone. I have always wanted affiliate owners to do good and to do well.
Yeah.
When you say those two things, like, I want you to do good and do well.
Yeah.
Doing good meaning have a sustainable business. Don't ostracize anyone. Don't think that you're so smart that you can't still learn.
Yeah.
And do well. Obviously, when people walk into your gym,
they're
going to change their lives and do well.
Yeah.
Or reverse the role. You could say the do good part would be for people and well, but
Yeah. I mean, it's always, even in this, we have a nice blend, obviously having 3 gyms and different people of different kind of avatars, different kind of like workout regimens and stuff like that. And to kind of see it kind of marry or kind of blend over it. I think that, again, I'm not saying it's the only thing, but when people do start like a CrossFit gym or they start a fitness journey, like, there is an aesthetic component that a person is looking for. I do think though that like, some of the, I think brashness at first of the Thunder Bro was the like Dave stuff of like, I always get hurt or I got all my injuries due to CrossFit. And this is better because of that. And it kind of like made a lot of people kind of have a like very polar drawing of whether they were like completely all in on CrossFit. And if you were all in on CrossFit, it was very tough to then also say, well, you should just do more hypertrophy training and bodybuilding style training and kind of that marriage of the two. Now, that being said, there isn't bicep curls. There isn't like a lot of like abdominal like crunches and different like things within CrossFit that, you can add accessory stuff and still kind of dose and give people what they need, but also like give them the functional training and just kind of the more like well-rounded kind of GPP training to kind of incorporate everything.
I think like long term, the world's changing fast with peptides, with anything you can imagine on that nature. And I mean, I always tell my wife, she's like, man, we're going to be old parents, where we have young kids. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I just see us living to 120 still being, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a tin hat guy. But in my head, I'm like, okay, so if this modern science is going to help people, now functionality really becomes a big deal. Because if you're, a piece of shit when you're older, but you're still functional, but no one wants to be around you. You have no capacity. You have no aerobic capacity. You still are, nothing's going to make you accidentally not get winded walking upstairs. Yes, we might have, longevity things and peptides and yada, yada, but you still have to train life. And I think that's where all the functional, call it CrossFit, whatever it is going to stay long-term.
And I think to that same, like, I feel like maybe we don't live to 120, but like if I could live great to 85 and then like I pass away at 86, that would be much better than 10 years of my life in a wheelchair, in like a small like go-kart type thing, and or bedridden, where like that's a 5 to 6 years. That like I would love it that like, hey, like my life, I'm pretty much at a good percent of it till the like kind of the very end, I guess you could say. And if CrossFit or functional fitness can be a good kind of blend of that, and as it kind of ages and as your membership ages and stuff like that, still giving people opportunity to be able to train in an environment where they're not neglecting their fitness. I think that's the biggest component is like, hey, like most people know or can find on chat or any of the different type of things, workout programs. The biggest thing is the adherence. It's finding something that is goal driven, that is long term. Most people can be like, hey, I'm going on a vacation, or I have a wedding coming up, or I have a race coming up, and I have very short term, 90-day, 6-month type training goals. But it's very tough for that to like sustain long term. I feel like within the group training space, the difference is that you're no longer training for a specific goal or a set target or a set date, but I want to be around these people. And these people I see when I'm within the gym. And it becomes part of the culture of like, I miss not the workout necessarily, but I miss the people that I hang out with at 7:30 or certain times of the day.
Like compliance is the science. That's a quote I like, ex-phys like quote I like to live by. Compliance being the science. So everyone's obsessed right now with, work hard and do the cold tub. And I mean, basically like make yourself hurt, which there's merit to that. If you've never done that in your life, like if you've never done something so disciplined that you absolutely are going crazy and people don't want to be around you because you're so dialed in, you're so locked in, I think you need to do that at some point in your life. But I think what we're finding in CrossFit 2026 is exactly what you just said. Sometimes too, it's just okay for you, like, this is how I work out. These are my people. And I'm just going to show up. But you have to have done exactly what you just said. You have to have put a race on the calendar. You've had to have done something first, because once you train for that thing, or you see maybe you did the CrossFit Open, you did better than you did, remember back in the day, the regionals, like someone making it to regionals from your gym. Of course. That was so cool. But now it's like, fitness is this giant merry-go-round that you see trends, you see things happen once again. And I think with chat, like you just said, people are like, I can get the world best trainer on. Yeah, you can. You can get the world's best workout. You're not going to get Joe at 6 a.m. who's going to check in with you. Those things are so important on accountability. And I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, except owning a CrossFit gym now. So we can go more into the business side, or we could go more into the theoretical training side. I mean, I'm going to let you take the wheel, because I'll go either way.
Yeah, I mean, I love both. I mean, obviously, for those that don't know you, I mean, currently you are it's the Midwest CrossFit affiliate manager. No, like what's the official title?
Yeah, the official title is the Midwest CrossFit affiliate representative.
Okay.
So, but what that basically means is they needed to. This was a great thing that they did. I'll have to ask all the other reps when we started. I want to say maybe 2022. Maybe, or 2023. But there was a huge gap between the affiliate and HQ. And everyone knew that. So we needed to cut that down, and we need to have a point of contact, someone who's going in there. And are we affiliate support? No. Are we your business coach? No. Are we a generalist of all of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you a point between or a conduit between like maybe directing them in the right direction?
Yeah. Which that's easy to do. Like, I'll
taking some of the
you have let's just say it's something with your license and you need an email chain or yes, okay, I can be the middleman, but I'm gonna direct you to the proper, But the main thing is connection.
Yeah.
Bringing people together, getting them to talk about business, what we're doing right now, and making sure that they're growing. Yeah. I don't believe people need to pay $20,000 a year for a CrossFit mentor to tell them about their business.
Yeah.
Pay $100,000 a year for a business mentor. Like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if it's just CrossFit, we're the experts because we're all learning. Like I'm walking through your gym.
Yeah.
There is no one in Michigan doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Could it be done in Michigan?
Sure.
I don't fucking know. Probably. Yeah, it probably
to some
could.
Capacity. I mean, it might look slightly different.
It might,
or anything like that.
And guess what? This brand you've created may even do better there. We don't know. Probably not due to the high Vegas versus Flint, Michigan. Yeah, different thing. But
I mean, there are
but there's similarities.
Gyms.
There's synergies that they should be able to learn from one another. And typically, CrossFit gyms beef more because they're after the same 100 people. But I've always told people, like, I don't really think that is good. I don't know what you got to say about that. Like,
I mean, again, let's say if everybody needs fitness, but everybody has a different idea of what they'd like to get out of fitness, I think that you do need to have 6 or 3 to 5 different window stickers to be able to attract the person. I mean, that's kind of how it started with Tread, is that the goal wasn't that I wanted to not have CrossFit. The goal was that I know that I've exhausted myself trying to convince people to come into a CrossFit gym, that we're doing a class at a gym down in the suburbs from a member of mine that coached there, that would literally just take my workout, turn it into a dumbbell and a treadmill, and they loved it. It was the best thing ever since sliced bread type deal. But the days it was closed on the holidays and he'd say, "Hey, come work out with me," they'd be like, I can't do CrossFit. So immediately I knew that there was some disconnect there. The second part though is yes, your CrossFit members will always take more variety and more stuff. But that being said, it doesn't bring new people into the ecosphere. So the only way to do that is not offering a boot camp class at the Strip CrossFit. It was, I need to have a new window sticker to bring people in that now creates a second way of layering 2 different styles. Not that CrossFit can't take the boot camp and eventually that you could start with the boot camp and move into CrossFit, but that people need to come in, that if I'm looking for a gym with just open access to equipment or machines, I'm not typically looking for CrossFit gyms on the internet.
Right.
In the same regard, if I do hit and it shows me CrossFit, I'm probably going to look for more of directly what I'm looking for. So that was kind of how it started. It was hey, we're going to have boot camp classes. I'm just not going to do them in my CrossFit gym. I'm going to give it its own front door, its own logo, its own website, its own everything, and then have a back end that marries the two if they're looking for that. Not saying that they need to. But when you come in and the space looks different and you're not in the CrossFit space with just the dumbbell rack over there and hey, it's a different workout, people immediately start to, okay, this is completely different than the other one, and vice versa. And then it was just kind of in the same regard, Barbell then started in the same way as hey, there are also people that come into town and or that are members of ours that get injured, that need a place to be able to do their physical therapy or their workouts that aren't in a group setting or in a class setting, and having that opportunity to be able to do in some capacity. I mean, you could break up a 5,000 square foot space and do it that way. We just couldn't get spaces right next to each other. So ours are kind of all across the parking lot, but they all kind of work in the same kind of ecosphere with it.
I think it's what you just said. If you had 10,000 square feet, instead of having, all the gyms in one spot, I feel like you do a good job here from what I literally just got here, but it's insane. I can't believe how close the things were, but they were all so different
Yeah.
But they all can speak to one another too.
Yeah.
You know, and like people in fitness, you know, I always say like, do your goals line up with your actions? That was a big Thunderbro quote we used to, I mean, I'm sure wasn't made up by us, but
maybe. We'll
just say it was. Like, you can have different goals throughout your career. Like I'm sure there's some people who got really into weightlifting.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, I like that part of CrossFit, and then I want to, you still keep them because now they're over here at the.
Yeah, because they still take the 1 or 2 classes.
Yeah.
But I mean, when somebody's paying upwards of $200 for a membership, but they're coming to 1 class a week, you're not going to retain it.
No.
Like, not without like also providing the other things or keeping them within the ecosphere of the touching those same people, talking about that community part.
Was it you on the podcast or on my business call? I don't think it was you. Or when you brought your son to Lifetime Fitness?
No, okay. That would be somebody else.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell it because it was great. Yeah. I know who it was now. I'm not going to say
Ackerman?
It was a different person. Yeah. But you know,
he talks about how he has a Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, membership. You know, big gym and works really hard and is struggling right now because of just the environment has changed. The environment's different in CrossFit than it was in 2013. 100%. You can't just put it, you know, think of 2013. We're coming out of the great financial crisis-ish, you know, 08, 09. People were handing out like, oh, you want to throw some weights around and have a dog in the corner and it smell like pee? That's fine. Give me $100 a month. And at that time, people were really pissed off at the man a little bit. Yeah. And CrossFit met that need. I mean, it was a beautiful marriage. So people were like, affiliate owners are doing great. That does not exist anymore. Yeah. It is complete. It's not even like a 1%. It's complete. It's down to 0. So, you know, this owner, he was like, I took my son to Lifetime and my son grew up in the gym. Yeah. And his son's old enough now to, you know, have enough like cognizant awareness of what's going on. And he's like, Dad, like this is really nice in here. Yeah. And he's looking around, he's like, those people kind of look like they're doing what we do in the gym. Yeah. And then he's like, but this place has pools and a basketball court. Yeah. And it's sad because we weren't like Glassman didn't have a crystal ball to be like, that's going to happen one day. Yeah. I don't think anyone really did. I don't think anyone knew an asteroid came to hit the Earth right now. We all got 5 more minutes before to chat with one another. No one hated one another. We'd have to say that CrossFit as a methodology it's probably the best thing to come to fitness in 100 years and probably will be within 100 years. And I don't mean that in a bragging way. But what it did to revolutionize, measuring fitness. Yeah. No better definition than increased work capacity across broad time modal domains. No one put it to the test and said, all right, well, we'll do this thing called the games then, and if anyone can win. Yeah. Yeah. And then no one, obviously the education, but the small business piece, hey, pay us this small affiliation fee, make sure you have insurance, go have fun. We're not going to tell you what to do. Yeah. That still doesn't.
Which is, I mean, now the Hyrox kind of mentality, slap a logo up on the wall and tell people that you do lunges, wall balls, burpees, and some running. And it's got a lower threshold than what CrossFit did. Yep. And like, I mean, in the same regard, like, I mean, there's some things that like we don't really program within CrossFit anymore that like it used to, like that I used to struggle with, not in the coaching component, but the adherence on the membership side of like ring progressions. And it's like, all right, well, if you have members that are overweight or members that are really old, they get off very quickly. There's not a huge amount of like skill progressions that they're typically moving through. Yep. So like when they now see that as part of the next time when you announce the workouts at 8 p.m. the night before and they see it, all right, it's a day that they now take outside of your gym. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how can I limit the number of days that people are like, that's not really the thing? Or like, always the funny one, and I would always joke with Zach when I first started CrossFit, I'm like, why don't we ever 5K is truly the number one program thing on .com, but like we don't run 5Ks. And I think it's that same thing of like, I want you here, I want you doing the workouts within here, and the more days that you don't come in here, the less likelihood you are to adhere to it and continue to kind of move through that. And now it's like you have like easier kind of thresholds of it, which allow for like more players in the space to like bring people into fitness, still doing functional fitness, but with less technical movements that maybe feel a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more like entry level, I guess you could say, to the individual.
The market always settles in. The market of when something comes out and maybe something's very extreme, like the market always settles in. And I think of nutrition too with that. And like, You think of like when a new diet comes out or new research comes out, like keto. Remember how big keto was?
Oh yeah, or Atkins.
Atkins, I mean, carnivore, vegetarian, this, that. And it's like all these things simply are trying to get you to. We're gonna use a Coca-Cola phrase. You ready?
Yeah.
The fuck was their phrase? It was like, on all the machines. What did they say? And now I'm like, think of a vending machine, and they were like, not calories matter, but they were like, move more.
I don't remember that one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Glassman hated it. Anyway, go look it up. But basically, they were saying, hey, if you moved a little more, these
calories wouldn't matter.
These wouldn't matter as much. Yeah. If you didn't move that much, probably don't drink a fucking Coca-Cola.
But definitely don't drink a 2-liter a day.
Yeah, and also
which
like
used to be my issue.
Which anecdotally, like they're right.
Yeah.
But we all know, like, okay, from our vantage point, we're like, no, that's bad in general because people don't need that, because what we should have said is we do very extreme workouts. We push the human body to its absolute extreme. And as you can see, we've proved it with the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
So go watch that, and then if you have someone who can do it better, invite them and we'll test them and they'll fail.
Yeah.
We don't even need all that Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And we're the most extreme. So why are you telling sedentary people that they should? Like, that was more of the argument, I think, when I don't know how I got there, but man, it is. But that whole circle of like, oh, you're gonna die if you have a Coca-Cola, came back like, well, if you're sub 10% body fat, you can deadlift twice your body weight. You're running a 5K. You're probably gonna be a-okay. Yeah. Do I have any evidence to support it? No, not really. But I'm not that stupid. Yeah, I
your
think
body does have to like, even like I'll have days where like I just want a soda.
Oh yeah,
like my stomach doesn't feel as good as when I just drink water, or like salt water, like LMNT, or just like drip water.
But I just think like
throw that one in there.
Throw the plug.
Yeah, throw a little plug.
No, I just think so the market, going back to markets regulate. Market regulated with Hyrox. I don't think Hyrox is the thing, but what the market was saying is, hey, we like to sweat for about 30 minutes. Yeah. We like to do things that are kind of hard, full body. Yeah. But aren't so highly technical that we're like annoyed that our workout of the day was practicing a skill and then we left. Yes, correct. Because people want to have some sort of exertion. That's all Hyrox. That's all people getting into Hyrox are even saying.
And I think there can be a good marriage of the two.
There
and
can be.
I think that even in the CrossFit Open / what is it? Fucking semis. What's second? Quarterfinals, then semis. Mm-hmm. Is that right? That like they can tier up, meaning that like, hey, like this is like almost like Hyrox level, and then like if you qualify, or if you're the top 15%, now there's another set of skills that we layer on top of it that are tier 2 skills that aren't brought in the Open. The Open is a very general, like strength-based, meaning squats, deads, presses, cardio. Tier 2 is the little bit more like advanced technical, squat snatches, handstand push-ups, like handstand walks, GHDs, rope climbs. And then the games is the best expression of everything done at an even bigger volume. And like you don't like that story would be much easier explained. And it's kind of crazy. Like about 2 months prior to the Open, I removed all the high rings from my gym. I said, we're never doing ring muscle ups ever again. Because the advanced people can do them on their own, but it's not part of our class. We do bar muscle ups. And then, of course, fucking Dave throws them in there in the middle of the workout. And I'm like, this could have easily been done on a bar, and you still would have got the same percentage of people, and you could have left the rings to that. Instead, you get people that finish it in 6-7 minutes, and then they flare around trying to get their first, and you're like, that didn't look good. A little cringe. And then, like, people are like, they're like, Joe, we never do ring muscle ups in class. I'm like, because you wouldn't be here to work on it. No. Because you don't want to work on it for 30 minutes. And you would do that, and then you would go next door and take a tread class because you didn't get a workout.
Oh, it's so tough.
And like that part is the frustration of like, it's much easier to just tell people, hey, like we're going to do pull-ups, and then we're going to do chest to bars in the same workout, and then we're going to do bar muscle ups. And hey, if you miss a muscle up, looks like a really good chest to bar. Yeah. If you miss a chest to bar, looks like a really good chin over the bar. And it's very easy to progress people through that without then, but we're also then going to put it on rings that move around, and you're going to be a little bit more unstable, and you're going to have to learn the dip and learn the hold and everything else that comes along with it. Yeah. It's much easier just to get rid of all the high rings and say, all right, like the Open, because it hadn't been in there in a little bit, and it was always those 3 progressions of pull-ups, very easily, hey, it's just not something that we do. Right. But something that like if you're This tier, we do have accessibility for it.
Yeah.
That, like, if you see bar muscle-ups in a workout and you want to throw rings in it because you're working on it, great. It's never going to be written that
That's
way.
how we programmed. My wife programmed that all the time, like bar or ring.
Yeah.
And then I think at first people are like, well, is it bar or is it ring? It's like,
Yeah.
over time you learn to lose the ego about it.
Yes.
Well, which is RX? Well, I would say bar muscle-ups are RX. Well, can both be? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be mad if you did ring and someone else did bar and their score?
Yeah.
Like, this is training, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, training's unique when it comes to, like, I think really what you're saying there is, jiu-jitsu gyms are obviously blown up, and I love my gym that I'm at. It's amazing, and the belt ranking system is, I think, I forget what they're called, but they tried to do that with fitness level method. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea is what you were even just
correct.
saying. I don't think it. I mean, I'm sure people still do it or whatever. I hope their business is doing well. I don't know if it came to fruition as they thought, but in theory, that's a very good way to scale. Like this workout, and if you're a black belt 3, whatever it is, then you should be expected to do that.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, well, then you, the person, need to know.
Can work on stuff.
You know
outside
what
of
you
the
need to go to
general
work
stuff.
to level up to your next level or something.
For sure.
Yeah, that would be great.
So, I mean, working obviously with affiliates, you see them as they come into the ecosphere. You also see them as they leave.
When
the
they come
ecosphere.
in, when they leave, they're
When
current.
they have any issues
when they have
or
any
anything
issue,
like that. And like, how is that, like, obviously, like, you're doing it on behalf of the affiliates. You came into it to better CrossFit, which again is not a charity. It's like, people are making money on CrossFit, but you do this role for free.
Well, it's not technically. No, I get paid.
You get paid from CrossFit to do
the role.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's not to be clear.
Yeah.
Like it's not
You still
charity,
gotta love it. Yeah.
but you definitely have to love it.
It's not like lawyer money. It's more like a grade school teacher.
Yeah, I'd say
is to loving education.
When I worked, if I'm ever thrown in the HR office, which has happened, I'm like, well, I make less than a librarian would, or whatever. So I'm like, hey, but nonetheless, yes, you have to love this. To be a field rep, you have to love the affiliates.
Yes.
And truly want to see them do well. Or you're never, not that we've shifted roles a lot, but no one would make it.
What is obviously some people are coming to you like as they're thinking about leaving. They're either closing their doors or they're nervous, they're changing, they're pivoting. What's the one thing that you think more affiliates need to be better at to avoid that?
You tell me first. You tell me first on that one. I want to hear you. Yeah, no, because I'll go, but I want to hear. You said that it was a great question, passionate. So,
I think it's a 2-part. I think that you have to have a clear understanding of how you're getting people, but then you do need to have a bucket of retention. You need to be able to retain the people once they're there. It's not a constant flow of sign up 5, lose 5, because now it just becomes a constant cycle like that. But what I find is that in talking with other affiliate owners and stuff like that, is that they don't have a clear definition of who they want to have as members, and or a good way of keeping them longer. It's I signed somebody up for a month or something like that. I get into arguments all the time that, and still to this day, we have a Groupon offer. Why? Because we close 70% of everybody that comes in on it. If you can't tell people why they need to pay $200 for your service within 30 days of your service, then I don't think you have a $200 service. It has nothing to do with the individual coming in. They're wanting to try it out and not have a huge barrier of entry and or a huge worry of blowing money that they didn't get value for in the service. So I guess it's a 2-part in my regard, but maybe it's undercharged. Would you say it's more that they're not charging? That they're not invested in it. Is it a whole hodgepodge of different?
I'm biased because I literally see every single departure.
Yes,
right?
in the Midwest.
In my region.
Sure.
So the number one thing I'll get super not political but blunt about it. The number one thing is money.
Yeah, of course.
It's not even remotely close. So then peel the layer back. what is really the problem? Well, it's real estate. Real estate has gone up. There are gyms overnight who get an 80% rent increase. That 80% was all they were taking from their gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're done.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened here in Vegas.
Exactly. And then so they're upset at CrossFit because there's nothing that we can do about that.
Yeah.
So that's a big part. A lot of times if people, they'll displace, as a therapy word, they'll displace anger from maybe mad at CrossFit because of other circumstances in their life. But I am very empathetic to that. I completely understand that. So number one thing, if somebody's leaving is money in real estate, et cetera. Yeah. If you haven't, I always say this jet ski reference. This is probably the 9th podcast I've said this on before.
I don't think I've heard it.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
So have you ever frowned on a jet ski?
No, just I think when the engine.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, when you got
it's physically impossible.
Yeah.
So next time, if you, and I hate water, I can't even swim. So but if I've ever driven a jet ski, the second you start going, you're like, oh, try to frown, and you're like, yeah. So I'm like, make enough money to buy a jet ski.
Yeah. Fair.
That's the bottom line. You don't see someone who is upset with what's going on and whatever if they are taking enough money from their business that they can feed their family, they're saving for retirement, they're investing, they're happy. Yeah. So my always biggest thing is all right, well, if you're struggling with the affiliate fee, give me all your expenses now. Let me see if I can eliminate $375 worth. Yeah. Let's put it right on the table. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, this membership management, this, that, gone. Yeah. I'll save you $500. Stay with CrossFit. Yeah. You just netted $125, right? I think financial, that's what got me into finance was the lack of financial education that I saw, in my close circle or anything I was like, something's wrong here. Yeah. Something in life is not told to, especially young men. Yeah. Like, oh, you need to get a big truck and you need to do X, Y, Z. You need to work. Like, I can't even fucking swing a hammer, dude. Yeah. Like, I am the most illiterate, I would say, masculine man when it comes to plugging in. Same. No,
I couldn't change a tire right now.
Exactly. But guess what? Yeah. I know deeply about the money system and I know deeply about investing. And that came through fitness because what we've learned about fitness. And then that transferred my mind to, I wonder if there's some similarities here. So I know owners are upset and they're leaving because of money. There's not a lot of people who are making $30,000 a month from their gym. That's like, you know what? I'm going to ditch that $375 a month. But that's not to be non-empathetic, right? Like I'm super empathetic for those people. Yeah. I don't want them to leave. Yeah. Think of if one affiliate leaves, and let's say it's an affiliate, 30 members, they're struggling. Yeah. Think of 10 of those 30. How many of those 10 affiliate owners or those members maybe were drug addicts and this is the only place that saves them? Maybe were abused. Maybe were in a terrible marriage and this is where they have to escape to have sanity. Think of those stories. That's why I want to keep those doors open. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, to the detriment, I think sometimes that
that can be a detriment too.
People do keep it open too long and or they're not willing to adjust to the price that they need to actually be in business.
Yeah. But let me ask you this then. We're going to reverse roles here. Yeah. So I was having one of my successful gyms in Ann Arbor. I'll shout out Chris. Yeah. Wolverine. We've been having a great You're not
Buckeye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay though.
It's all right.
Yeah. One day a year.
He's literally in Ann Arbor. He's right near the university. But he's like, there's no set of standard procedures of what's expected, not what a CrossFit gym should do, but how it should look, feel, and smell, how clean it should be, storage, front desk, should it have shower? Like all of those little things do really stand out. And and
he's saying that he wishes that there was a standard to it or that there is the open expression of
just the open expectation that if you are, what I was going to say is what do you think is a standard expectation then of CrossFit only, not the tread, not the barbell. Yeah. What should a CrossFit gym be? Because I already have, when I walked into your gym, I got on video, I could tell the story immediately. Yeah. It's fucking clean as shit. Yeah. There's branding colors. Every single storage thing is thought out for maximum operational capacity for the class. You don't have a dumb number you don't have stupid equipment. Not to say that there's not. No. In theory, what I'm saying is all these stupid equipment's here. Sure. Right? And the barbell
all the one-off type stuff.
All the one-off type. You have just what you're going to use inside of that gym.
If I don't have 4 of something.
You have showers. And,
4 is my minimum. Okay. So if I don't have 4 of it, it doesn't exist. And like not like therapy bands are a little different, like stuff like that. But like if like
why 4?
4 because originally all my classes I could program off of a 16-minute EMOM.
There you go.
So like 4 stations if I wanted to use it.
Why don't people think about that? I hope this podcast reaches people because those things are exactly what I always thought about. And I don't have conversations all the time with owners who are thinking that way.
Yeah. I mean, yes, we'll have classes that go over 20 people, but you know what? There's then modifications and stuff for that. But like GHDs, we have 4. Ski ergs, we have 4. Everything else we have more because I want to use it in more volume of the workout. But if I can write it as an EMOM or write it as a every 5 minutes, meaning that we stagger start the class, you can still be able to use those pieces and be able to use it appropriately. You just have to make sure that like it's not an AMRAP workout that like everybody's now stuck at the GHD because they're all waiting for the 4 that are used or the 2 that are there in the corner. Or if you had like ski ergs and you only have 2, it's very difficult to do that. But 4, like if it's programmed right, and I mean, again, our CrossFit gym's 2,000 square feet.
That's
small. The biggest. Yeah. That's the biggest argument that I'll get into with most CrossFit gym owners is that they get to a weird point of about 100 to 120 members. They now are still programming the same way they did with 50.
Yes.
And they're doing AMRAPs that all end up with you on a specific piece of equipment that now overlaps everything. Or it's 15 or 18 unique barbells that are all strategically weighted to each person's thing that all need instant access to it for a workout like Grace, for a workout like Isabel, or like a running where like now I'm like standing there waiting on it and like immediately I need to go to 5,000 square feet.
Right.
No, you don't need 5,000 square feet. Your bucket is finally full. You're paying all your bills. You're finally at the point that the owner can now make money.
Yeah.
And now all you're doing is getting a bigger bucket.
Yep.
Instead of just being like, let's rewrite the workouts so that I can put 20 people in this. Stop following mayhem to the T. You do not need to do the same thing that Rich Froning in 20,000 square foot has 20 GHDs and 20 ski ergs and 20 of these does in your own affiliate. You either need to rewrite it or you need to follow a different one or you need to write it yourself.
Yep.
And you need to keep the bucket full and allow the overlap because all that is your money, the owner. That's where the owner finally like enjoys life because it's overlapping. But the problem is you get one squeaky or loud person that doesn't have their own barbell for a workout. They had to wait 15 seconds to start their deadlifts. Yeah. And you start immediately looking on the different real estate websites of expanding my gym. And now all you did is you finally got out of that tier 1 where like years 1 through 3 of like finally getting to a point where you can start making money as an owner, not as a coach inside of it. But all you do is immediately you go from having a 6,000, like we pay about $4,500 a month in rent. But I also pay my coaches $50 per class because I can.
Yes.
Like I pay them more. I have less turnover. I have better coaches. I have more adherence. They're more bought into it because it's not super, super part-time.
You kept it simple. And when it got difficult, it looks like what you did in there is you just upgraded the things that are every square inch now of that gym is not only utilized for your business, but you've kept it clean. You're like, you said it so well that the second you hit 100 or a class
it's about 100 to 120 members I've found and that you're following a certain program and it works because each person has about 400 square feet. Everybody has their own rower. Everybody has their own barbell. And then that first class hits and you hit 20 people in a class and you're like, fuck, I can't have 20 barbells for a workout that just everybody keeps moving through. And they immediately now it's like, bigger bucket. Well, now it's a bigger rent, bigger utilities. I have all this random extra space. I got more cleaning and everything else. And now you're in a new thing to catch up to that. And I'd imagine that in that new 7,000 square foot or 6,000 square foot space, you hit 200 members. And I bet it's the same thing if you don't adjust out the programming.
And so I take, obviously the businesses, in a cell, are we staying here? Are we staying there? And people don't need to focus on that. That's just a distraction. But the thing that I have always wondered is if we go back into the garage era, there's a whole untapped market of garage stuff. What you just described to me with your business is not relatable to the garage, but it is. Think if you were inside of your garage and you grassrooted. Holy crap, I got 3 people coming in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, 13 people want to come to my garage. I need to get a bigger garage. I need to take out a second mortgage and go build it. No, you don't. You just need to be more clever, and you now need to pat yourself on the back and say, good job, I did it.
Yeah.
That's what you did, looks like, with Strip CrossFit, because you could have validated, oh man, we might be able to go closer to the, you know.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Every time I go into CrossFit Grandview when I'm back home in Ohio, or I'm on the road and I go into like Invictus in San Diego.
But you can't. That is, I'm glad you said that, because we're in Las Vegas, Nevada right now.
Yeah.
Real estate is so different. I am the shittiest real estate investor you have ever have met on planet Earth, except now I find you should invest in things that you know, like, and understand. Something I took from Dave Ramsey, believe it or not.
Yeah.
People, you thought you were going to the Bitcoin conference, and you're like, yeah, you can still learn from financial people. And he was one I was like, yeah, know, like, and understand. Well, I suck at real estate. Here's why. I bought houses in Flint where I grew up playing ball in Flint, and it's like, oh, this is going to be okay. Yeah. It was not okay.
No.
Shut down, COVID, et cetera. Yeah. So when you compare yourself, real estate is hyper local. Yeah. Yeah, you go into CrossFit Grandview. And
not only that, but I mean in the same regard where like, oh, I have 200 members, and or like you start doing the math in the back of your head, and all you're doing is you're displacing the owner's take home to have a bigger
real estate
gym, and nothing else kind of changes in the entire process. Like the members don't overnight double. They don't like 1.5 times. And if you don't have the other things in place, I mean the retention, the back of house and stuff like that, they may never get it over that 125 anyways. Yeah. Even if you do get the bigger space. Right. So now all you've done is appease the 2 people that want to be able to hit the RX on the thing with a workout that was programmed by somebody else in 10,000 square feet.
It is tough though, because those squeaky wheels. Did you say squeaky wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Squeaky wheel member who, all you hear is like the critiques in your head as an owner. I never struggled with that. Yeah. I think it was an old Pat Sherwood. I don't know. I feel like I heard it from Pat Sherwood, but he's like, it's your pillow you have to lay down on. Yeah. So when someone would come to me and be like, Andrew, this person cheated. I want you to do something about it. I'd be like, I don't fucking like. Yeah. I appreciate what you're saying to me, and I like you as a human being. I'm gonna go. Yeah. I don't even know how to enter that conversation. Or if somebody's like, oh man, I was so mad I didn't have a barbell. I told my girlfriend, and then this and that. I'd be like, okay. Or like when Big Daddy, the movie Big Daddy, and Adam Sandler, when the girl comes in and she's like, oh, we wasted the good surprise on you. And he's like, all right. Yeah. Yeah. I take it from that.
Like, I think that like I appreciate that, but I'm also in the camp of I appreciate all feedback. Sure. And I feel like when you do close wallet and or you just aren't willing to listen to it, and or like, hey, if one person says it, well, there might be other people. And if I hear it again, then like, am I building a culture where this is what people are looking for, that I need to be able to check the box and be able to be on a barbell? Or do I need to layer in or massage in other ways of the workout, counting for reps or counting where it doesn't come down to every single person needing their own thing?
Oh, no, that's completely well said. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Hearing feedback with the CrossFit seminar staff, that was the number one thing. People, everyone on planet Earth was like, oh, I want to be a CrossFit seminar staff. I'm like, you need to really understand the feedback that we get. Yeah. I mean, it still to this day will shape the way I talk to you. I mean, they built me and my wife to who we are. Literally, there's things, and I think you're absolutely right. The first feedback will go to, what can I do to change? But then you do have to sometimes, as Jocko says, like the whole like detach thing, and be like, yes. Is something just fucking wrong with their life right now and they're really mad? And that happens a lot too. Yeah. So you need to, because if you're a constant empath and you're like, oh man, I'm doing a terrible job. It's like, you have to be able to differentiate. Is this person too? Maybe I should go talk to them and be like, hey, I know you're super frustrated. Like, I just want to know what's going on. Do you know how much they would appreciate that? Yeah. I think the best thing I can say, I heard it on a rerun of Home Improvement last night. Yeah. Okay. From Wilson. Remember? Yeah. Where I was like, you either, sometimes people think they know everything, right? Yeah. Or they're too afraid to change anything. Yeah. Right. Both prevent you from thinking. Yeah. So you have to be able to be adaptable. Like, I don't know everything. I'm also willing to change. So those two things can definitely be important there.
Final question.
Yes.
CrossFit in 5 years.
What's today? It's
2020. Okay. Let's just say for simple math, 2030.
2030. Okay.
What is it independently operated? Is it more like an Orange Theory? Is it kind of dissipated into the ethos and thought of like these were the good times?
Yeah.
Like, what are your
within,
your thoughts?
Yeah, within 5 years, once again, I said I'm not a tin hat person.
Sure.
In
But
5
if
years.
you were, let's put them on.
Yeah.
And let's think in the future. And what does CrossFit look like?
We'll all have a universal high income by then.
Yeah.
There will be, in 5 years, you bet your ass that Microsoft yesterday did a 7% voluntary retirement.
Okay.
Does that make sense to
Yeah.
anyone?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever heard that term?
Yeah.
No, they said, hey, you can automate your jobs.
Yeah.
Within an hour, Meta did something very similar.
Yeah.
This is going to continue and continue and continue to happen. CrossFit, as you talked about earlier, is going to be a place that people go for literally daily interaction because
Yes.
they have extra money.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They want connection with people.
Yeah.
So I think CrossFit, the company, I think it's going to absolutely blow up.
Yeah.
I know that's like a counter,
I think
maybe a
the same-
counter belief.
No, I think the same way. I think that people need like groups of people around them to interact with.
And I think there will be more because of what you just said. There's going to be a CrossFit gym that might be competitive only. There's going to be a CrossFit gym that all the soccer moms want to go to from that grade school. Yeah. People are going to start to pay to go on walks outside, right? That's the cool thing to do is like analog.
So then back in that, do you think CrossFit should give you a jurisdiction, meaning that like it shouldn't be able to open a second one across the street?
No.
Or do you think that it's the Glassman, like the best will survive?
I think. Well,
sorry that.
No, you're
question.
good. This is a
question off of a
I
question.
didn't even really answer the first question. Like, where will it be?
Yeah.
I do not think that we're going to be tossed around and like dumped on by private equity and stuff forever. I definitely don't think that. I don't even think private equity are bad people. I think most people have a misunderstanding of what private equity is and what people do. Like,
it can be good or bad.
It can be good or bad. Yeah, just like anything. Yeah. So I think that the games will be figured out. Yeah. I think a lot of affiliate owners are saying, hey, the games hurts me because then people don't come in. They think CrossFit's too hard or too dangerous or something. I think that'll be figured out. We went back to our monster conversation before. Yeah. Could you imagine if that was like the Red Bull, CrossFit Games, et cetera? And it was so
every gym owner got $25,000
exactly.
from Monster.
I don't think
put their logo on the wall.
I think that will be figured out.
Cool.
I think education will be figured out in terms of there's anyone who's taken a level 1 or level 2 has never said that was a fucking waste of time. I don't think anyone.
No, I did it without any intent of ever being a coach, ever doing opening a gym. I took it like mine had almost expired. When I opened my gym. And I had done my level 2 before opening the gym, but I had no intention of like being in the CrossFit like ecosphere of like gym owner. It was purely just wanting to better understand the methodology, and I got great things out of that weekend.
So where I see that one going is I'm not currently in an educational role, but I would always, there might be times I go back, but we have such good trainers on the level 1 staff and et cetera, that we have such good minds that I think we should expand even. I mean, maybe it will expand even more into talk to people like you for business. And so maybe there will be more offerings. And then I see the affiliates.
I think there should be a basic understanding blueprint of education within the like ecosphere of opening a business. Like that, like, hey, like yes, you're interested in opening a CrossFit gym. Like you should probably take this course. And whether it's free or you have to pay a small amount for it, like that there should be some type of like understanding a P&L, understanding like, hey, like that you need to pay yourself, stuff like that. And just like, hey, that like at some point it like shouldn't be work for charity. You need to like to want to do it long term.
I agree.
There has to be a financial success to it.
And I think with the affiliates, I always think of, what are they going to do? I think there's going to be a host of different affiliates. I think we're going to see smaller affiliates come back, like 800 square feet, 1,200 square feet, for reasons such as that. Like, hey, maybe it's smaller amounts of rent and people can do more things. And what other business? If you go to open a franchise or something, the amount of just like liquid assets you need or be able to show them on a bank, like, no one can still do it for such. Get insurance, pay this fee. Done.
Grab 5 barbells.
There you go.
Grab a couple.
So I think we'll see an increase in affiliates actually.
Nice. Awesome.